Hello everybody and welcome along to another Rugby World Cup squad announcement, build up, call it what you like, but we are just a few days away from the kickoff of the biggest rugby tournament every 4 years, and we have a big squad announcement coming your way today, one you've all been pretty keen, asking for it, wanting to see where this discussion is. It is the announcement of the English team, the hosts of the Rugby World Cup. And as I said to you guys in the comments as well, I've been trying to line up a very special guest, and that is exactly what we have on the line with me right here, the Rugby Player HD. Callum, welcome along to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you are well.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Now, this England team, what's your initial thoughts of it? Impressed?
I am. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. I think it's pretty much the squad that I wanted. Maybe the only thing that I think shouldn't have been in there, maybe they should have put Danny Cipriani in there. But to be honest, I don't know who they'd take out. Yeah. But I think he's the only person that maybe should have been in the squad. Everyone else, I'm pretty fine with, to be honest, as an English fan.
So, for those of you who haven't tuned into the channel before, don't know who you are, do you want to give them a bit of an intro, where you're from, who you are, all that sort of thing? Shout out your channel.
Yep, so I am the Rugby Player HD. I live in England. I'm half Scottish, half English, so I can give my views on both of those teams. And pretty much, I mostly do rugby video games, other sorts of things. And yeah, that's pretty much my channel. I have around 500 subscribers, so it's not that many compared to Cornflake, but it's decent, and I'm doing quite well at the moment. So
I'll leave a link in the description for your channel, so everyone watching, get out there, subscribe to his channel, give him some support. He makes some pretty cool videos as well, different stuff going around, getting into the league as well, which is pretty awesome. Get out there, subscribe to his channel, and of course, stick around for this first before you go away and see what he has to say about this English team. So we're going to dive straight into it. We'll start off at the beginning where it all starts and ends, the front row. And England have gone with 3 hookers. We'll start with them first, mixing it up. Jamie George, Rob Webber, and Tom Youngs. So it is, I guess, 2 of them predictable, but Jamie George in there, just 1 cap, the man from Saracens.
Yeah.
Do you think, I watched the game and their build-up match where they played the man who didn't get into the squad, Luke Cowan-Dickie. I think he was absolutely done in by his teammates. He had a horrible game and they completely ditched him and threw him under the bus. Your thoughts on those 3 and the luck of Cowan-Dickie as well?
Yeah, I think Luke Cowan-Dickie didn't do himself any favours in that warm-up game against France. He came on, didn't throw a single line out straight or to a man, and I think it's probably nerves and a lot of adrenaline, and I just think you get that big chance, and I don't think he took it very well. He's not known for his line-out throwing, but I think he did completely mess that up. And Jamie George, when he came on in the France match last week or the week before, I can't remember what it was, but he didn't mess up as badly as Cowan-Dickie, and I thought he had a better performance than he did. So I think on that note, I think you've probably got to give it to him.
I felt sorry for him, for Cowan-Dickie. That's how much he was really left out to dry. You know, the line-out went horribly wrong and everyone just ran away from him.
Yeah.
I felt horribly sorry for him. It's something you just don't normally see, that, you know, the team normally surrounds around a player having a bad day and tries to get him back up, but I felt they let him hang out to dry big time.
Yeah.
Here. Do you feel Dylan Hartley is left out?
No, he's banned.
He's banned. So how long's he banned for?
Well, he's banned until I think maybe like the 3rd pool game or something of the World Cup, but it's because
so he's banned. Yep.
Yeah, he headbutted Jamie George. So, and then
any chance later?
No, not now. I think if he wouldn't have headbutted, he would be straight in the squad, be number 1 hooker. But he did headbutt the guy who got in ahead of him now, because so I think there's no chance. I think it's a bit risky now because they won't be able to put any more players into the squad. So I don't see them actually doing that.
if someone gets injured, well, if Tom Youngs, who obviously will be the first choice, goes down with an injury, will they go to Cowan Dickey instead?
No, they won't. I think if it's that late in the tournament and his ban's lifted, and one of the hookers gets injured, they'll probably bring Dylan Hartley in.
And then as he comes off the bench, he's going to headbutt George again on the way on.
Yeah, and then get banned again.
That's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. So we'll leave the hookers there. We'll move on to the other members of the front row. That is the props. There is 5 names they've gone for here. Kieran Brooks, Dan Cole, Joe Marler, Marco Vunipola, David Wilson. A good range here. A lot of experience in a few positions. A couple of newcomers. Anyone, Corbusiero missing out there? Your thoughts on that one?
Oh, when he came on in that France game, like their scrum in that France game when he came on was just atrocious. I think they got destroyed in that second half where he came on. He didn't do himself any favours. He kept going down on his side and he kept giving away penalties. And I think that was just, and he didn't impress me in that game at all. And I think there's no reason why he should be in the squad ahead of any of these guys that are in at the moment. So I think all the guys in there are probably the guys I would have put in. The only thing, I just find Dave Wilson quite funny when he runs because he's quite fat. But apart from that, yeah, I think that's a fair enough front row.
There's a lot of players that have fallen quite hard from 2 years ago in the Lions tour that are just nowhere to be seen in UK rugby. The likes of Corbusiero is one of them. What's happened? Is it the players coming up, or have they just fallen away completely?
He got a big injury, and then for Northampton, there's a guy, he kept starting over him, and he would never budge, and he was playing really well, and he never actually got back into the team, Corbusiero. So it was, I think it was the big injury. I think that dented him a little bit, which I think it's a bit unlucky anyway. I thought he was a bit overrated in that Lions tour anyway, to be honest. That's my opinion. But that's my thoughts on that.
So we move out of the front row and go to the tall timber in the second row, the locks, and we have 4 coming from George Cruz, Joe Launchbury, Courtney Laws, Jeff Parling. Really can't go past those. Those are 4 that have been used quite a lot. This whole English team has been, this whole squad has been used quite a lot. They've really not gone out of this core group at all. Maybe the one you could feel unlucky for would be Atwood. Do you think he deserved to be in there instead of probably Cruz, or not?
No, I think Atwood should have been in there instead of Jeff Parling. I don't especially rate Jeff Parling. I think Dave Atwood's better than Jeff Parling, to be honest. But I think the rest is solid enough. I think Joe Launchbury and Courtney Laws should definitely be the starting 2, and then the other 2 off the bench. But yeah, I feel a bit aggrieved for him. I think he was a bit unlucky.
Yep. This is quite an experienced English side, and a lot of the key areas. It's actually, for a team that's got a lot of new names, there's quite a lot of experience. And when you look at the back row, where there's 5 players coming in: James Haskell, Chris Robshaw, Tom Wood, Ben Morgan, and Billy Vunipola. They're all in around the 20, 30, and up to Haskell, who's on the 60 caps. It's all quite experienced, and I did hear talk about how Easter was unlucky to miss out on the number 8 spot as well. But God, he's 37. Are they really thinking of picking him in their team?
Yeah, you couldn't have picked him over any of those guys, to be honest. Because he also had second row cover as well in the last year. So I think that would have been the other reason, just for that little bit more cover at lock as well. But he's way too old now to be playing international rugby, to be honest.
He'll go play for South Africa soon.
You have to play sevens first, won't he? But I think on that back row, I think that's a good enough back row. I was a bit disappointed that Maro Itoje got cut so early, because I thought he was a good young player and quite promising, and also he could cover a few positions as well. But I think on the whole, I think the back row is a good strength for England, especially Ben Morgan come back from his injury. I'm hoping he'll play well in the World Cup as well.
What about your thoughts on Callum Clark missing out on a spot in that back row as well?
He was never actually going to get in the England squad. I think he was there because he had a really good season with Northampton. He's playing very, very well, but he was never going to get in over these guys, I'll be honest with you.
It's quite an established back row between, when you look at the caps, Billy Vunipoola's the least capped of those 5 names, and, no one's going to get in there ahead of that big monster of a man in there. So that is the forwards done and dusted with. We'll move straight on back into the back line, and we start off with the scrum halves. 3 names here. You probably couldn't really argue too much with Danny Kerr, Richard Wigglesworth, and Ben Youngs. Really, they named themselves, didn't they?
Yeah. The only thing I was a bit disappointed with is that if people know me, I am a huge Wasps fan, and they'll know that I think Joe Simpson should have got in there instead of Richard Wigglesworth. But I think Richard Wigglesworth has the best kicking game out of all of them, but I think Ben Youngs brings the most to the table. But saying that, though, he didn't really do too much against France the other week, which is a bit disappointing. So I really hope all of them pick it up and play really well at the World Cup.
Probably the most controversial position of this whole squad, where all the media spotlight went to, was the fly halves. England have gone with just the 2, Owen Farrell and George Ford. Cipriani, where does he fit? Is he unlucky? Does he not deserve it? Wrong type of player? Where does he fit in there?
I think on the rest of the squad they've picked, they don't need him, but I think they didn't really give him enough chance because he hasn't started a game for England in it's got to be a couple of years, so he's never actually got his full-on chance at 10. And every time he's come on, he's played decent when he's come off the bench, but he's never been given that starting role, which is what he probably needs to show. Where if you saw him in that Barbarians game where he scored 30 something points and was man of the match. Great game from there, and then he goes and gets drunk and does something stupid. I think I don't get that. You have a great game and then you go and do something stupid. But pretty much, I think he's a little bit unlucky that he never actually got the chance to actually. Maybe he should have started the last game and then George Ford come off the bench, because of course George Ford was always going to get in the squad. So I think that's a bit unlucky that he never got that full game to show himself.
He did launch that comeback against France, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. And I thought you could just see his impact that he gave. He just brought much more flow and much more impact. But I think the other names they have got in the back line, there is plenty cover at 10 though, so I think they would be alright without him, but I think he's just unlucky.
And one of those names you're probably talking about will be in the centres, where we'll have a look at next, so the likes of Brad Barrett, heaps to discuss about, Sam Burgess of course, Jonathan Joseph, and probably Henry Slade, the one you're talking about, who can cover at 10 as well. Yep,
he can, very, very versatile, he can play 10, 12, 13, so that's very good to have that. The thing I was a bit disappointed about, it just seems like they were like, okay, Brad Barrett, he's definitely in the squad. He hasn't even played a warm-up game, I don't think, yet. And he got straight into the squad. I think he's playing this week, but I just think you've still got to play the guy, even if you think he's going to get straight in, because even though I think he's a solid defensive 12, I don't see him bring so much in the attacking sense, which some other players do. But I think Sam Burgess, I think he deserves it. He deserves it on that first game he played, the game where he put in a great defensive shift. But then I think Luther Burrell not playing very well against France the other week, I think then helped his case a little bit more. Yeah, but I still don't think that with him only having one cap in rugby union, it's a risk, but also I think it could pay off. I think maybe he'll get a game against some of the weaker teams in the pool. But yeah, let's just hope. Let's just hope when he tackles, he tackles low enough so he doesn't get sent in, and we'll be all right.
Where do you think he plays best? What's your opinion?
I think he plays best at flanker, but obviously Stuart Lancaster doesn't listen to the Bath coach where he says he's best there. But yeah, it's up to him. But I think he's the best flanker because he gets more of the ball and he can make more tackles as well.
Because he really is a defensive player. Like in that match against France, you didn't see him on attack. He maybe was part of the chain through the back line, but he never really hit the line up a huge amount. But his impact was in defence, where he made some massive tackles and put the French side on the back foot, driving them back into their own territory. Yeah,
definitely. I think he's definitely in there for his Courtney Lawes style hits on people. I just think when he does that, he just needs to make sure he goes low enough so he doesn't get yellow carded for going too high. But I hope because he's playing this weekend. He's on the bench. I hope his impact will be very good in defence, and hopefully we'll see some big carries from in attack as well in the World Cup.
Yeah, that's definitely probably the area that he needs to improve, especially if he's going to play in the centres as well.
Yeah, and especially if you watch him when he plays, he runs in so upright because he's used to it in league. But he needs to know that in rugby union, people don't tackle up high anyway, so it's not going to help you. He needs to learn to get a huge bosh on him like Julian Sauvé or someone like that. But the second he gets that, I think he'll be a monster.
I think he'll definitely develop and grow. And how long is he committed to Bath or to English rugby? Do you know?
I don't think he's going to go back to league now. I don't think, unless he has like a horrid time in the World Cup and then horrid time at Bath. I think he's there for good now.
So he's only 26. So next World Cup he could be 30. He could become quite an established union player by that stage.
Yeah, I think big chance from there.
So that is the centre pairing, the big topic of Sam Burgess being selected. It's getting the thumbs up here from the Rugby Player HD, thinks he's all good. That'll be interesting to see in the future. Of course, what is your opinions on Sam Burgess? Let us know in the comments as well what you think. That's probably the biggest controversy in the team. While we're with the centres as well, you talked a little bit about Luther Burrell, Billy 12 Trees as well. Unlucky those two?
Or? Oh, no. I hate Billy 12 Trees so much. There's so many people I know that when he just comes on, he either makes loads of tackles or just messes up on every single pass. It's just he frustrates me so much, Billy 12 Trees, because he could be so good, but he's not. He's just not.
It's a big
I'll be honest.
Through Billy. And
I just can't. I think he's good at a Premiership level, but the second he gets into an international, he's just awful.
At least you're honest.
But Luther Burrell, I think he had his best season was 2 years ago, and I think from then he didn't do much last season in the Six Nations, and I don't think he did enough in the warm-up game to show himself. So I think he probably doesn't deserve to get in.
So that's the centres all done and dusted as well. We'll go to the final positions. The outside backs, they've picked 3 wingers, 2 fullbacks. We have Johnny May, Jack Noel, Anthony Watson, Mike Brown, Alex Good. Anyone unlucky to miss out there? It seems like that's really what they've hammered on with the back 3 over this whole build-up to the World Cup.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much solid in how they thought they would give that. The only thing, I think it's going to be a big battle to see who actually starts at 15. I think Mike Brown's probably got it at the moment, but Alex Good has played so well in that first France game. And I think, it's going to be a big battle to see who actually starts at 15 in the World Cup.
Is Anthony Watson in the form of his life at the moment?
Yeah. They've said that they're just going to play him on the wing, so they're not actually going to play him at fullback. But I think he and I don't know who would start with him. I don't know if it's Johnny May or Jack Noel. It's obviously Jack Noel, I think, has a better step on him, could probably get away from tacklers. But Johnny May is obviously rapid. But I think sometimes he doesn't actually use his pace. And you see when he does, he scores tries against New Zealand. So
we remember that.
But Yeah, but sometimes he doesn't know when the hole's big enough to run through, and he doesn't back himself. But hopefully he'll do that, and hopefully he can play quite well. Hope he does.
Do you think the build-up of this team, based on their clubs, is a reflection of how the team's been going in the provincial competitions? Like, there's a lot of Saracens players throughout the squad. Is that a reflection back on the domestic scene there?
Yeah, I think there's quite a lot of Bath players, quite a lot of Saracens players, and I think that's obviously because they played very, very well in the season, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why Bath and Saracens did so well, because the guys that are in the England team played so well to then help their team really push on. Yeah, I think it just shows the guys who really took their domestic form to the next level got their chance at international, and I hope they do their best at the World Cup, and hopefully they perform as well.
So why only 2 players to come from the Wasps?
Oh, because they didn't pick Christian Wade because he's too small, apparently. And his defense isn't the best, but I still think Christian Wade is probably the best finisher in the Premiership, but they still don't give him a chance. And obviously, me being so biased to us, I think Elliot Daly was quite unlucky to get cut out so quickly as well. But I think you'll be seeing next World Cup. You'll be seeing many Wasps players in the team. I think this one's just a bit unlucky, and it's just Haskell in that one.
So, come Rugby World Cup time, this is your 31 men. What's going to happen? How confident are you with this team going into the World Cup? Where are they going to finish?
Okay, my opinion on this, I think they'll come third. I don't think they'll win it. I think they'll get to the semi-final, and then they'll mess up it'll be probably against like New Zealand or South Africa or something like that. A big team, and they'll mess up. Or they will just completely mess up from the start and won't even get out of the pool. Those are the two things. I don't think they'll win it. They haven't shown the form that the England 2003 team have shown, where they were world number 1. They were beating everyone. They were the best team in the world by a mile. But this team is not. But we got to hope they perform at home with a home crowd, and hopefully that gives them a big boost.
Is there anyone missing from the squad who you'd like to have added in that you haven't already covered, or anyone you thought should not be there that you haven't already gone through?
No, I think that squad is a very balanced squad. I think it has enough players in there. And overall, I think that squad could do England well, but I don't think there's anyone that could add much more to that than's already there. Maybe Stefan Armitage, but obviously Stuart Lunker's not going to pick him. But yeah, I think that's the best squad available at the moment to pick. So I think he's done well with that.
So there you have it, the hosts' 31-man squad. They are going obviously nowhere, they're already there. That is what is going to try win the cup for England. Thank you very much for your time tonight, Callum. Your opinion's fantastic. Hope everyone's enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
And as always, a link to his channel will be in the description. Go check him out, give him some love as well, and check out his awesome videos on his channel. And that is me, done and dusted for England. Plenty more coming your way as well. All the other big World Cup squads, namings will be coming your way. A little look through them, hopefully with some more guests as well. And yeah, thank you for tuning in and watching. Hope you've all enjoyed, and as always, take care.